Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video. So I'm actually about to do a water change because next weekend I won't be here and I'll be having my brother taking care of all the tanks and feeding the fish. So I want to do a water change now, so that way the fish have good quality water while I'm away. So right now what you're seeing right now is all the fish all getting teased right here, because in this container I have bloodworms right in there. I'm just thawing them out because these guys come out frozen and the fish love them. It's been quite a while since I give them some. So right now they're all freaking out because they want to get to that. Also, this is actually an update video for, I guess, an early April update video, because a lot of my females are actually pregnant and should be giving birth anytime soon. So these guys, these females right here, are actually pretty big. So I've had a lot of fry be born in this tank, and I'm just letting them raise out on their own, so then I'll pick out and select which of the males and which females I want to selectively breed in all of these tanks right over here. And from what I've seen, a lot of the newer ones, there's a couple males and also a couple females. That's awesome. I get to choose a couple males, because right now I only have one male in here. No idea where he is. Oh, there's a little fry right there. But there's only one male in here, and he has a nice blue color to him. I want to see if I get some more males going on with different colorations. Oh, there he is. Let's see if I get any closer and it still stays focused. So these females are ready to drop fry any day now. But they're all getting teased because they want to get to those bloodworms in there. I've been putting in a lot of Java moss and Java fern in here so that the fry, when they are born, they're not getting eaten. And these have been growing out in these tanks right over here. If you could tell, this tank right here is where I had a lot of my shrimp, and this thing was completely planted. You couldn't see anything in there. But I did separate and move a lot of those plants into this tank so that the fish had a lot of cover in there. And then I moved my shrimp around. Interesting enough, the ones that were in this tank right over here, which has the Santa Monica filtration system that's creating its own food source, had the darkest of the shrimp in there, while all the other ones started to lighten up a bit. So what I did is I moved all the dark ones into this tank. So these are dark blue. And what I noticed today is a lot of these females in here are actually buried, so there will be a lot more of them here. It's hard to see because they like to hide in these caves, and then they also hide in the tank, and it's a little dark in this one. Other than that, these other ones have the same kind of shrimp, but they're a lot lighter. So you can see them all on the bottom. They're almost white or clear. Same thing right over there. And I did have the ones with the red stripes in here. What I ended up doing is putting them into this large part, into this huge tank, so they could add and clean up some of the uneaten fish food in here. Other than that, there really hasn't been too much in the fish room. As I mentioned in previous videos, my girlfriend and I actually bought a house, and it's a new construction. What has to happen is that they put in the water main, and then they have to go back and pave the road. This is started back in October, but with the winter, we've had a crazy winter. I think I mentioned in my last video that we had a crazy winter and they couldn't put in the water. Otherwise, the pipes would freeze. The ground was too frozen to also dig. But as of 2 weeks ago, we do have water. And what we're waiting for now is for the road to be put in and driveway, a couple of things to fix up and put in. So all these tanks are actually going to get moved and put in the new house. I don't have a dedicated area yet for them. So what I'm going to do is put them all in the basement. It's an unfinished basement. These tanks do have heaters, and we're coming up on the summer. Well, hopefully we're coming up on the summer. I think we skipped over spring this year. But we went straight from winter to whatever is coming up next. We'll see how that happens. But we'll put these in the basement, let them run off of there. Hopefully, I haven't checked, but hopefully there's some power outlets. There's definitely lights, so I'm hoping there's power. Otherwise, we're going to have to run some extension cords. My girlfriend might not be happy about that, but she doesn't have to know yet. If you're watching the video, I love you. But yeah, we're going to put in these tanks down there for now until we build up the basement. What we want to do is furnish it, have a nice little office for home aquatics, and then have my tanks in there. But that is going to be a work in progress. So you guys are actually going to be part of that. You'll be watching us put up the walls and all that good stuff, and then setting up some racks for the tanks. I still have to figure out where I'm going to get them. And then I just want to swap all these out, so the 5.5s will become 10s. The 30 might become a 40. So if you guys are in the area, you're more than likely to come pick up some of these tanks when that happens. Might be doing a giveaway or that good stuff. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we're actually going away next weekend. So we're starting our way from Orlando, making all the way down to Key West. We have a lot of cool things planned, and what I want to do is do some live streams of just vlogging where you guys could contact us and talk. We're going to be spending a lot of time on the beach. So while sitting on the beach, if you guys want to join and enjoy the weather, and the view, the water, everything, tune in. It should definitely be sometime during the week. We'll be arriving there on Friday. So from Friday to Friday, we'll be there. Alright, what else? What else we got in here? Avocados. These things are a pain in the butt. This one has been growing for maybe 6 months now, and it has a huge root system. Let's see if I can pull them out very gently. It has a huge root system, but it hasn't given off a stem yet. And I think by now you would have imagined it did. And this guy, I broke some toothpicks, so I had to use a lock to balance it out and hold it in the water. This guy also has a root system, but it's not as large. But he just sprouted, or just cracked open. Let's see if we get him a little bit closer. He just cracked open not too long ago. So he still has some time, but he did take another like good 4 months to get to this point. Alright, let's see. We got the pothos. This stuff is doing great. Filter in the water. I like to have this because additional filtration. This cup just keeps it in place, so when I do water changes and the water level drops, the plants like to get pulled down. And I use that cup to keep them right there in place so that doesn't happen. Because this root system right here, this intense root system, that's coming from the pothos. And then the Java fern actually tangles itself up in there and it floats. Otherwise, the stuff will be all over the place. Still going filtered, still being filtered by the sponge filter and that mountain filter. That was an experiment. I've not had any issues because I switched from my canister filter over to those, and I thought it wouldn't be enough filtration because these guys are only rated for a 20 gallon, and that mountain filter is a DIY, so it's not working the same way it's supposed to work or be set up because I have a pump on the bottom that's pulling the water back. But other than that, I haven't run into any issues with that, and these guys are still going on the sponge filter. I think I did mention about these darker shrimp, the ones that are right there. You see one on the bottom. They did come from that back one. I don't know why these guys were so dark, because I did not selectively breed them that way. But what I did do is separate all the darker ones into this tank. That's still going. My only issue is that tank actually has snails, and the snail population has exploded because it's eating all the algae off of the Santa Monica filter. I guess that's alright, because the goal was to start raising some food in there, but I didn't want the snails to eat it all on me. But for now, what I'm going to do is just leave it as is, let it keep running, and then at the new house, scrub that tank, get all these tanks really clean, and move all the fish and plants, and hopefully not get any more snails. The plant part's going to be hard, because that's where they lay their eggs. I honestly don't mind the snails, because they eat all the uneaten food by the fish and the shrimp. But it is what it is, and we're just going to keep it going. Alright guys, so that's all I have for this video. So this is our update for April. If you guys haven't watched my last video, my local pet store where I sell all my, well, sell a good amount of my guppies and my shrimp, actually had a huge fire and a lot of their animals perished. So there's some GoFundMes going, so if you want to check out that last video, it should show up at the end of this video as a recommended video. So check that out if you want to help support and get us to our goal. I did not create the GoFundMe, someone else in my town did, but there's a couple of them going. The goal for this one is $10,000, and we're about, I think last time I checked, it was close to $4,000. So if you want to be part of that and help a local mom and pop shop, definitely check that out. Alright guys, thanks for checking out the video. If you're new, drop a like and subscribe, and if you're returning, drop a like and a comment. If you haven't already, check out Home Aquatics on Facebook. The link is in the description below. If you want to follow, I'll be posting videos and pictures throughout the whole vacation. And I also post all my updates on there before I leave or record a video. Thanks guys, have a good one and see you then.